give you a moment to turn there. The word of the living God. For many deceivers have gone out into the world, and those who do not confess the coming of Jesus Christ in the flesh. Such a one is the deceiver and the Antichrist. Watch yourself so that you may not lose what we have worked for, but may win a full reward. Everyone who does not go on ahead and does not abide in the teaching of Christ does not have God. Whoever abides in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not receive him into your house or give him any greeting, for whoever greets him takes part in his wicked works. You may be seated. As you work your way through the epistles of John, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, you begin to wonder, man, this guy just says the same thing over and over and over again, then he kind of goes off to another tangent, and then he comes back and he says it over and over again. Well, if you ever wonder why preachers repeat themselves so much, it's because it's what we learn in the Word, right? It's because we as humans are really forgetful. If you need proof of our ability to forget the most important things, talk to a husband who's been told of the plans that he's been made aware of 3 times, and then the day comes on those plans, and you think, I don't know nothing about those plans. And the wife says, I've told you 3 times. And then it goes on this constant battle, and now there's a fight as you're going toward the plans that you're supposed to be so happy to be going to, right? And that's in everyday life. Much more, imagine in things of the Lord, things of spiritual weightiness, as it were. If you need proof that we are forgetful people, see how many times John has to remind his people that Christ came in the flesh. And there's false teachers who are going to come and try to seek to say otherwise, right? There are those who are going to come, and they're Gnostic heretics who are going to say Christ could not have come in the flesh because the flesh is wickedness, because the flesh is a sinful reality, because the material world itself is something that is cursed by God, because God is a spirit. It's a very crafty way of creating these distinctions that God has never created. And it sounds very, very good. That's the problem with this type of teaching, is it's so close to truth, right? Set your minds on heavenly things and not on things of the earth. That's a verse. And when the Gnostics came in, they were trying to teach that type of mentality, trying to deny all things on this earth, try to truly reject any type of earthiness. And then you hear Paul saying, if someone tells you don't marry, don't eat, don't do this, those are doctrines of demons. Well, which is it? Does this earth matter or does it not matter? If Christ came in the flesh, if Christ had an incarnational reality, then this earth matters to our God. Because remember what Christ said, I did not come to judge the world, but I came to save the world. He's making peace by the blood of his cross, all things in heaven and all things on earth. So if I could just encourage you this morning, it's this. Christian ministry is not simply what is done behind the pulpit. Christian ministry is anything that is rendered up to God in service to him. Priests aren't the ones who are preaching from pulpits. Priests are you sitting in chairs as you offer up your life as a sacrifice, as worship unto him. If there's one thing that we want to communicate week in and week out from this pulpit, it's this. Christ came incarnationally to show us that this life matters, that your life matters, that this world matters, and the way you live your life in this world is actually worship to your God. It's not distinction between leaders and lay people. It's the people of God actually rendering up worship to God in whatever they do. Whether that's being a mom who stays at home, a husband who goes to work a job that he doesn't care for, greeting at the door, whatever it is, the electric, the plumber, the guy who's a lawyer, whatever it is, all that is worship to God. Because if you deny all that, then you're basically saying Christ came in the flesh, but he wasn't really in the flesh. And you're beginning to sound like Gnostic heretics, which is going on in too many Christian circles today. But I want you to also notice that we're not to receive those who have false teaching. And so as we think about that in terms of our life, who do you invite into your home? And you might not say, well, no one's ever come to my house to teach us anything. Well, what podcasts do you listen to? What do you allow yourself to be fed day in and day out? What podcasts are your wives listening to? Do you know who's feeding them? What are you allowing your children to watch as they have endless amount of screen time? Those are all counselors. Those are all teachers. Are those teachers that you allow into your home via media, are they proponents of evil, or are they showing you righteousness in Christ? Why? Because all of life matters. There's no such thing as teachers coming into your home through media that is outside the lordship of Christ. All I'm trying to say is what you do with every second of your life, at all times during your life, is either going to be true priestly sacrifice to your God or it's going to be idolatry. Always. Why? Because every moment counts. Every detail of your life matters. And it's a wrong Christianity who says only prayer and Bible time matter. No, all of life matters. What you listen to, what you consume, what you give, how you live your life, all of that is speaking the way that Christ lived. Because he came not just always preaching, not just always in his word. He came eating and drinking. He came enjoying his creation. He came and taught his people and lived among his people, showing all of life matters. All of life is important. So live your life as if it's that reality, because it is. What will be the sacrifice that you give your God as a priest unto him? May it be truly Christian sacrifice for his glory and for his honor. And as you do so, may you lift up your hearts. We lift up our hearts to the Lord.